Previously on the Brand X podcast. Como sta, bitches?
These old fashions are amazing, just so you know.
Want another one?
I do. I really do.
Aren't they tasty?
They are very good.
Oh, twist my arm.
Hi, Duchess.
Want to try it with bourbon?
John Domingo, man of action.
You can work out your technical difficulties. I'll make 2 more old fashions.
All right.
I'm a bad friend.
No, you're a fantastic friend because you're a bad influence.
Maybe another old fashioned will remedy the situation.
It will not. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Don't do what Democrats do. I also need someone that's fluent in bullshit.
I don't understand, Duchess.
It's a woman.
Here, drink wench. Make me another.
And John wants to be a fucking cowboy.
Dude, I'm on your side. Go ahead, keep going. I'm a cowboy.
Go back, Pedro.
I'm no mathematician, but that's $6 million a year.
Shit, I'll fuck Tiger Woods for that.
Yeah. I'm no homo.
Not no homo, but you know.
Yeah. I might bend over and spread my ass cheeks for $6 million a year.
I mean, I gotta live.
Oh, somebody's got to do it. Get the fuck out. I've had enough.
You're not thinking clearly. You've had too many old fashions.
All right, listen, let the old fashioned flow through you. Come on.
You look like you want another one.
I do want another one.
I'll make you one. I'll make you. What are you laughing at?
This whole time we've been talking ever since I put
Oh, you didn't push record?
I pressed it, but it did not go to record, and we've done this whole...
Yeah, we had a great time.
Cash for cash?
Cash equals gash.
Here's my thing. Where the fuck is my coffee? You motherfuckers, when you first started, you were talking through the fucking phone and a microphone. And now all of a sudden I don't get a coffee? Fuck both of you.
Look at the ass on that girl. I
Right.
got to get next to that.
Yes, you are a jackass, my man. You cannot even bring a woman up on Discord and have her join the podcast.
Motherfucker.
This gold-digging whore.
Did you push record? Yeah.
I just pushed record right there.
You got to nip it in the bud. Like Barney Fife used to say, nip it in the bud. You got to nip it, Barney. Men are so shallow. They're so superficial.
I'll dig into that fat thing and try to find that penis. I'm a better friend. Because you know
I don't
what?
think your ex-wife thinks so.
Fuck her. That cunt. Fuckface Phil.
Yeah.
Lying piece of shit.
Sack of
Where
shit.
the fuck are my plastic bags and straws?
Oh, yeah, he was a raging drunk on set. He was out of control.
She's responsible for all this garbage. My wife deserves to die.
Another old-fashioned John?
No. Fuck no.
With John over there with his tie askew and nose aglow.
He still talks to Jody, talks to everybody else. You know who he don't talk to? Jackass. And the thing is, I haven't done a fucking thing to this guy. All right? I praise him all the time. I still listen to his fucking show. But all of a sudden, I'm the fucking bad guy. You know what, Edward? Go fuck yourself. And when you end up like me, I will laugh from the grave.
Have another old-fashioned.
No, I don't think I can. Welcome into another episode of the Brand X podcast. I am one of your hosts, John. Alongside me, my co-host, Deuce.
Como sta, bitches?
And I have been waiting way too long, Deuce. I have to take a little sip of this old-fashioned here. Hold on.
Double old-fashioned.
Oh, that's good. We ordered cheesesteaks. Justin says he's on the way. I don't know. He probably dropped it over somebody else's house. I don't know where my fucking cheesesteaks are, but we'll see.
They'll turn up in good time.
Oh, I'm sure.
I have faith.
Like to thank our producer, Mike Pellerito, for that wonderful rendition of the last podcast.
Yeah, we should have just released that.
It's not a bad idea. Actually, it's not a bad idea at all.
It's like those trailers you see on YouTube. Yeah, when an upcoming movie's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
The summer blockbusters.
Right. There you go.
Oh, there's a message.
Now it's just, okay, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to have to ignore them because I'll take them out and post.
Oh, okay.
But what we have here is we're in Discord. Okay, our Discord.
I thought maybe it was a cheesesteak alert.
No, I wish. So when they pop in and pop out, it makes a noise. But if I wanted to.
Don't fuck with anything. Just I'll ignore them. I'll shun it like the Amish.
Anyhow, so if we wanted to, we could always bring somebody up and talk. But now they're popping in and out. we start the show. They were quiet as church mouses. Now they're popping in and out of the show. But whatever, it's fine. The old fashions. So the last time when you left, this studio wasn't even here at all. All right.
Now you've made formidable progress.
Okay, so we also got the bar. We have the coffee bar over there. Now we have the proper ice cubes for old fashions, the big ones.
Yeah, I was impressed that not only is there a booze bar, but there's a coffee bar.
Oh, I'm not fucking around.
So you can podcast 24 hours a day now.
I can.
Coffee, booze. Doesn't matter what time of the day you're doing it.
I have the poker table set up over there now.
You playing poker again?
I play on VR. I haven't played live in a while.
Because you were like really, really into that
I'm
before
still
you
into
did
it.
podcasting.
Yeah, I'm still into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this poker table over here and like maybe have 6 people over here and maybe live stream us playing poker.
Who, me?
No, of course not you. If we did have you here playing.
I suck at poker.
I was going to say,
you
you
want
don't
to podcast me losing badly?
But if you were here, I would always put the camera behind, so all you'd see is the back of your head.
Right.
Like right now, the way we are sitting, I feel
Hold on, the cheesesteak
Justin's
is here.
with the cheesesteaks. Yeah, I would take and make sure the camera faced the back of your head. But I have the monitors up right now. I don't know if I can ignore this thing now. All right, the cheesesteak guy's here. All right, are we pulling them out? Might as well pull them out. Lisa's hopping in and out of here, making all kinds of noise. I think it's Lisa, or is it? No, it must be Duchess because Duchess. Well, I'll tell you. Yeah. So okay, my daughter's coming too. So I got her a cheesesteak because I'm a good father. Let me see what they are. Provolone. All right. One should say mushrooms. Then there it is. Yes. Let me see. That's it. Mayo, onions, and mushrooms. There we go. Now we're talking. There you go. She can come in. Yeah. No, I don't need a plate either.
I'll eat it like a barbarian.
Yes. I mean, this is what I look forward to this. I look forward to the old fashioned, a little cheesesteak, maybe some pizza.
Yeah, it's hard to pair a good wine with a cheesesteak, but old fashions just go with everything.
Absolutely.
So you were saying, as your mouth is full of food.
If we were going to do if you were going to play poker, I would put the camera so it's back of your head. Now, the way the monitor is right now, I kind of feel like Home Improvement, and we're Tim and
Wilson,
because we can kind of see over the top of it. All right, that's enough cheesesteak. I'll eat some later.
Never enough.
So my daughter calls me. She says, Dad, I think my brakes are making noise. You think? Now my brakes are making noise. So that's not good. So I sent it back to the repair shop back there. And they give me an estimate. Toyota Corolla, 4 sets of brake pads and rotors. How much you think?
1,100.
800.
That's not bad.
That's what I thought. But still, that's a lot.
It's a big bite.
That's a big bite.
A dealership, it would be 1,100.
Oh, yeah. Well,
ask me how I know.
I know. Yeah, I used to work with one. Well, the other thing is, too, I get the family discount from back there. So that's also a good thing.
Nice.
Way to go, Jamingo Autos. So right now, Duchess is on her way to Tennessee.
Nice.
She lives down near the shore, but they're looking maybe to retire in Tennessee.
What part?
Knoxville.
That's what we were looking at.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that like a hotspot Republican place?
The whole state is a hotspot republic, except for Memphis.
You know, when she did, she teased me. She sent me a picture. I don't know where she was, a Sheets or something. And what did they think they have there? Plastic bags. Mm-hmm. I'm like, God damn it. Where's my plastic bags?
We were buying land in Tennessee a couple of years ago, and then my son sandbagged me and ended that.
Oh.
Once he told Diane he was looking to go to Florida, so Tennessee was like right out. So that's a long story, which will fill me with animosity and wrath. But yeah, we were looking at the around the Pigeon Forge area, which is where Dollywood is, which is on the Knoxville end of the state. If you go west to east, it's Memphis on the west, Nashville's in the center-ish, and Knoxville's on the east.
And Chattanooga to the south.
Right. So we were looking at the Knoxville end of the state,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the Great Smoky Mountains are. And we had an acre on a mountain in a gated community, all ready to go. And then Diane said, "No." So, but I'm not bitter about it. Not at all.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Well, now he's in New York, so now what? You never know where the kids are going to go.
Well, he's going to be a dad. We're going to be grandparents.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, I don't think I've shared that with anyone yet. Not on the podcast, anyway. The baby comes in August, and the lease is up in September. So that'll be an interesting couple of months there.
Really?
So I am totally open to the idea of them coming down here and living with us because I have a 4-bedroom house. So it's like, hey, we got the room until we can, find, because that's a bad way to look for another place to live when you have a baby.
Yeah.
If you're with the grandparents,
You'd be
there's no rush.
Right. And you'd love that. Diane would definitely love that.
Oh, yeah.
Be doting over that kid. Now,
undermining the parental authority of my son and his wife, as grandparents do. I'm going to start slipping the kid cash when he's a week old. Like, here, don't tell your mom and dad. We found a $5 bill in his hand. Where did that come from?
he swallowed a quarter.
Well, give me some credit. I'm not going to give him coins. They're too shiny. They're like fishing lures.
And look at us saying, what if it's a girl?
It's not.
Oh, you know it's a boy?
Yeah.
God damn, you really know how to kick out boys.
Oh, yeah. Deuce the fourth.
No shit. You think so?
Oh, yeah. It's a done deal. He's going to carry on the family name.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a boy.
Well, congratulations.
Oh,
Hey,
thank you.
cheers.
Thank you very much. This calls for an old fashioned that I had already pre-mixed as if nice segue.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen, but if they live with us for a couple of months or as long as it takes, because I don't want them to rush into finding another place to live because they have to, and having a newborn pretty much makes you have to.
I gotcha. So the last time we were on the show, you and I were discussing the fact that women being in the service and then also women going into combat. And we were both against it. That's all right. You keep chewing.
Well, specifically, we were drinking old fashions and we were basically speaking extemporaneously off the top of our heads. I was anyway.
So you have changed now that you had time to think?
No, but to my recollection, I am against drafting women into the service.
What about in combat?
I am against drafting women into combat.
Okay.
If women have joined voluntarily, that's an entirely different thing. It's not like I don't want women in the military. I think there's something wrong with a society that forces the issue.
Okay.
I don't think that's a woman's role.
All right. So I don't want women in combat at all.
No, I don't either.
Okay. So
just to be clear, yeah.
Yeah. So Brand X podcast.
But if they are fighter jets, they're going to be in combat. I don't want them, in the 82nd Airborne, or in the Marines, on the front lines being cannon fodder. I don't think that's a good thing.
Doug and Anthony brought this up on their show, and this is how Doug introduced the subject.
I would like to take this moment to explain to you why I think both John and Deuce are fucking retarded.
That's the way to start it off. Now.
But he said it with love.
Yes, he did. And then he says this.
So Deuce he's very knowledgeable about a lot of things.
You know what happened when he went to say something about me? Nothing.
I think you're looking too deep into this.
I don't know. I don't think I am. To be quite honest with you. I don't think I am.
I concur with Doug's opinion on myself.
So I am going to refute.
I have not listened to this podcast since the last time it was. I know it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while.
It was almost right after ours dropped.
And be honest with you, it was the same thing. It's that Doug and Anthony do. Doug tries to corner Anthony into a position, and then aha, So
Doug is the master of the circular argument.
Right.
That's his forte, and he does it well.
He does do it well. So he starts. This is the premise right here.
Do you think women should be allowed in the military?
And then Anthony says that, yes, they should be in the military. So then he says, what about combat? And he says, no. And then Doug starts this stuff. This is why Doug doesn't believe that women should be in combat. So here we go.
Both of them say that women shouldn't be allowed on the front lines, which to me is fucking retarded.
Why?
I promise you, if you were to line up all the women in the military right now, 70% of them, right off the bat, I could handpick without even talking to them, 70% of them that would be better soldiers than you. And then there's another 20% that I would have misjudged, but would prove me wrong by beating you up.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Anthony is the Mendoza line
Well,
for soldiers?
so Anthony is the yardstick?
Yeah, he's the Mendoza line. So if you could beat Anthony up, then you can go be a soldier on the front lines. Now,
Well, that's a fallacious argument, and here's why. Of that lineup that he announced, how many of those women can beat up other men that are already in the military?
there you go. See, we think alike. This is why we're not retarded, and Doug is actually retarded.
Well, I'm sure he was doing it for entertainment purposes.
Okay, well, this is what we're doing right now.
It was
We're-
funny.
Yeah,
It
we're
was
doing it for entertainment purposes. All right, so here we go. My position is women should not be in combat for the same reason that women should not be in men's sports, because they are not good enough to compete with men. I'm saying women are equal but different. If I had Doug here, I would ask him, if I put you in a foxhole with a bunch of women,
Would you bang her?
okay, probably, maybe, all right. But then have a Chinese troop, battalion, whatever, attack that group. Doug would immediately understand what I meant by women should not be in combat. He would immediately want other dudes in there that can fight. That's what this is all about. It's not a dig on women. It's just a fact. The fact is that women are not meant for combat against other men. Now, listen, if we decided that, hey, you know what, women, you want to be equal? We're just going to make everybody in the world is just going to let women go out and fight women. Then I'm okay with it. Then they can be in combat. But as soon as you bring men into it, they're at a disadvantage. And in war, you don't want to be at a disadvantage. Neither does Doug. You can be equal but different.
Yeah, the whole purpose of war is to kill as many of their guys before they kill as many more of your guys.
Yes.
That's how you win wars,
exactly.
which we've forgotten about since Korea.
Well, again, now all of a sudden it's like we fly drones from our comfy little trailer, and then we blow up people. We haven't had. I shouldn't say that. We had Afghanistan, we had Iraq. So,
Well, 2 wars in Iraq.
2 of them.
Yeah,
in Iraq.
the Kuwait-Iraq liberation, and then the Iraq War.
That we went into because
That was in 2003.
correct.
Everyone forgets about Hans Blix.
Who's okay?
You remember that name?
I remember the name. I don't remember the guy.
That's why we went into Iraq in 2003, because the United Nations forced this resolution on Iraq from the first Iraq War of 1989-90. And they immediately started breaking the rules. They wouldn't let UN inspectors in to check anything out, examine things. And then we had 9/11. And then we had intelligence, flawed as it may be, but all the other international intelligence said the same thing, that Iraq had a hand in the attack on 9/11.
They didn't.
We stepped up. Well, that's what I said. You have
Right.
to act in the now. You don't have the gift of hindsight. When you're in the, that's what's known as the fog of war. So when you're in the now and you're dealing with the facts as they're coming in, that's all you've got. Be that as it may, the United Nations would not act at all. And that's why we went into Iraq and we took Saddam Hussein out.
Oh, yeah. Certainly did. That's why I think that Doug's a retard, because he wouldn't, if he had to fight in these wars and he had to go, he would not want women to fight with him. He'd be like, be stronger, be sharpshooter, beat them. You can't do it. That's why the same reason why we don't have women in the NBA. We have to make their WNBA so they can even be competitive.
And then have no one show up at the championship parade.
Was there a championship?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh, it's fake. It's about a year and a half ago, maybe, the last WNBA championship. While you're sitting there, just Google WNBA parade, championship parade.
Okay.
There was nobody there. Nobody. Much like the ratings, nobody watches it. Just like the World Cup, like the women's soccer team won the World Cup, no one saw it because the ratings are just not there for women's sports. And then you hear these do-gooders lament that they're not getting paid as much as the male athletes. It's because it's not that they're not good. It's just because they don't attract an audience.
Okay. So I'm going to turn this down because I'm going to turn the audio off. But I'm going to watch the footage of the NBA victory parade. Here we go. You may want to consider lowering the volume. The fans can be intense. Oh, my God, Deuce. There is no one. No one.
No.
There's more police there following them, so there's no shenanigans, than their fans.
There's nobody there.
No one. Oh, my God. Hang on.
And then you get these do-gooders that scream that they're not getting paid as much as LeBron James and
Wait, I got to
other professional men's basketball athletes.
They stink at basketball. That's the problem.
They stink to basketball. That's the problem. And now we have men going in and taking over their sport.
And it is the same exact thing with the women's, when the U.S. women's team with that angry lesbian with the pink hair dragged the flag across the ground. When they won the World Cup and they started screaming that they're not making as much money. Well, yeah, look at the ratings. They're not bringing no viewers, which means there's less advertising dollars. There's less deals for merchandise and jerseys and whatnot.
And the other thing is they couldn't even...
Why is that my fault?
And they couldn't even beat the worst team in the men's division. So I don't know what country's the worst team in soccer in the World Cup in the men's division.
Probably this one.
Okay, let's say it's the United States. I know if the United States men played the United States women, they would beat them...
handily.
Oh, it'd be like a football score. It'd
Did you hear about... everyone remembers about Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King.
Mm-hmm.
What people forget is that Bobby Riggs beat the shit out of two women. I think it was before Billie Jean King came in. Bobby Riggs was 57 years old. And Billie Jean King, I think at the time, was like 22.
Right.
So, so you've got this burly lesbian that's in the at the peak of her athletic prowess that beat a 57-year-old senior citizen. And Bobby Riggs, he was a showman. He was kind of like Muhammad Ali in a way of the tennis world. And it was a big deal. And it was the battle of the sexes. I'm sure you remember it. I remember it.
Yeah, it was 1974.
73, 74, something like that.
At the Superdome in Houston. They sold it out. Yeah.
It was a huge deal. So,
right.
But a few years later when the Venus and her sister, what's her, I can't remember the sister's name. But anyway, the two sisters, Venus and her sister.
I want to say Sasha. I think it starts with an S. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't care enough to know. But
Serena.
Serena, that's it.
The chat says Serena.
So they put this challenge out that they were going to find a guy to play them. And what they found, I think the guy was from Australia, and he was ranked 206th, out of the men. And he spent the day before, or that day, the day of the match, playing around the golf, smoking cigars and drinking on the back nine. And then he beat the shit out of the both of them. It wasn't even close. I am not saying that Serena and Venus are not excellent athletes. They clearly are because they've dominated women's tennis from their introduction into the sport. But they're not equal to what a man can do, which just furthers the argument of that trans swimmer that went into the swimming matches and beating all the girls.
Right. Leah Thomas.
Right.
Yes.
Whatever his name is now.
Right. We're going to get into that. Well, I don't know. That whole thing with Riley Gaines, where she went to San Francisco University, not a smart move, to talk about the inequity of having trans men in sports. Mm-hmm. And they basically attacked her, chased her in a room with the police. The police are guarding.
Yeah.
And then they said that you got to pay us money and we'll let you out. As far as I'm concerned, that's kidnapping.
That's extortion.
Yes. So where are the police? They did dick.
Not in that city. They won't do nothing.
Of course not. So now she's suing the university, which she should. She should sue the shit out of that university. I'm telling you right now, I mean, that was a disgrace. And they're yelling, trans women are women. No, trans women think they're women. They're not women. Again, why do I have to go through this?
It's basically, I think Andrew Clavin puts it best when he says it's basically a minstrel blackface that's what it is. It's the same exact thing. They scream about like how back in the day white actors would portray black entertainers.
Right.
This is the same thing. It's a minstrel show.
Again, I'm done with this charade. All right. I think that all this woke bullshit is just a way to destroy this country from within. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm not going to give it its due as far as being serious about it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, nobody's got time for that. The same thing everybody's making a big giant deal about Dylan Mulvaney and the whole Bud Light thing.
Did you see the recent article about that?
No.
About how the weekend after that launched, their Bud Light sales tanked like tremendously. Everyone abandoned. Like it was down like so far down in one weekend that they said that they cannot recover for this year.
Really?
Cannot recover at all. Because it's not like, okay, this weekend it was off. We'll make it up the remaining weekends in the rest of the year. It was so devastatingly off that they are not going to equal their sales that they did in 2022. That's how bad it was. It was a bloodbath. Somewhere in the world, the guy that came up with the new Coke campaign, he's like, oh, thank Christ. I'm no longer the worst marketing guy in the planet.
Well, the woman that is in charge.
Oh, there you go. That's why.
Yeah, the woman is in charge of
this. You just
this.
broke the code.
Yeah. And she said that we needed to change this brand around. And you know what? The brand is not doing well. And then we're going to shake it up and we're going to start, trying to appeal to other people. Well, you did. You appealed to the 10%. And I'm being...
Not even that. In the article that I read, they appealed to the 0.2% of the population. And you totally forgot about your base, which was 99.8%. Right. So the 99.8% said, yeah, I don't think I agree with this. I'm not drinking this beer.
Okay, so you are a purveyor of beer. You love beer, good beer, bad beer. What would be your official opinion of Bud Light as a beer?
It's weasel piss.
Okay. Now, did you...
Budweiser, the whole line is just, I would drink it to be polite if I went to if you had a barbecue.
Right.
See, this is the thing. A lot of people that may not know as much about beer, but they understand marketing. So they watch TV and they see Budweiser commercials over and over again. So if you're not learned in beer, what would you think? Well, it must be pretty good beer, so that they would buy it. So I would come to your house. Oh, great. John invited us over for the 4th of July, and you had Budweiser and Bud Light. I would drink it to be polite, but it's not something that I would drink myself.
Now, Uncle Randy from
Married as F.
He.
What are you doing here?
I don't know. He is a big fan of Bud Light. He has it on tap at his bar in his backyard, and he's not changing.
Really?
And that's fine. Listen, I don't want him to change. Drink Bud Light if you want to drink Bud Light. What I get a kick out of is the backlash where somebody went out and bought a shitload of Bud Light, and they put it all out on a parking lot, and they took a steamroller. And this guy is just driving around, running beers, pop bottles, popping cans, popping beer all over the parking lot. And I'm like, you just upped their sales.
I don't know, because they were making fun about Kid Rock for doing the same thing. And then like the Weekend Report came on how devastating the sales were. Like this one bar, and I'm just pulling numbers off the top of my head as close as I can remember them. Like this one bar, which was like a huge sports bar. They would sell 495 glasses a night on the weekend. and they sold 12. That's devastating. And that's just in that one location.
Okay. The 12% of the people that they are now, or 1.2% or whatever, that they are.
I think it's 0.2%.
0.2% that they are championing. Do you think they're going to drink that? No, they like good beer too.
No, they're drinking wine spritzers.
Right.
They ain't drinking beer. They're fags. That's called spade a spade.
And that's another thing. I'm tired of people taking words away from me. There's not one time that I referred to a gay person as a faggot. I never. And I've referred to a lot of people as faggots or fags.
I do now.
Not one of them were gay. They were all straight as an arrow. What we meant by faggots were like sissies or not real men.
Yeah, effeminate.
Effeminate. Yes. But not homosexuals. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, everybody grabs a word. They think, we're taking this word. You can't say it. Fuck you, faggot. We're going to say whatever we want.
That's why I say if you were born in the 70s, your grandfathered in, they really can't hold a shit against you. It's like, yeah, no problem.
Right.
I'm continuing on. I don't care. What are they going to do?
Again, I go back to the same thing. When I was a kid, growing up, 17 years old, and my father, he said, don't ever bring home a black girl. I'm like, okay. Now, is that right? No, it's not. Is it racist? That is racist. That's absolutely racist. The thing is now, like if somebody's bringing home what would you rather have your daughter bring home? A black guy or a transsexual? I don't know. I don't know what we do there.
Yeah, it's a conundrum now.
I just want to say I don't want to judge people by race. I don't. But I'm just saying, but back in the day, we were forbidden. I mean, forbidden. Mm-hmm. You would not bring home, hey, look, here's my new girlfriend. And then you hear the record, you hear the record needle come off the record and everybody's standing there. But that's just the way. Like when people say to me, that's racist, I'm like, you don't even know what real racism is. You and I grew up when there was real racism. Now they say racial humor is racism. They don't even know what racism is. That's the way I look at it.
Well, they keep moving the fence post. Yeah. The goal post rather.
Yeah, they move the fence post. They take the fence post out. One bends over and the other one shoves it up their ass. No, I'm just kidding.
that sound?
That sound. Yes.
It's been a while.
You had to go find it.
I was like, where's it at?
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Bud Light. They're all doing it. I mean, every company is now, I think this is all about the ESG scores that corporations need to build up. And this is why they're embracing the LG.
Well, once again, I know you find this hard to believe, but Anthony made a very good point about this. You can go and the reason this all happens, you're familiar with BlackRock?
Yes.
All right. Well, when they, on their last show, they looked it up and BlackRock owns about 25% of Budweiser.
Yep.
And that's why this happened.
Yep.
That's exactly why it happened.
Well, the woman that is in charge of marketing said that she wanted to shake things up.
But where did she get those orders from?
I think she decided that this was on her own. Listen, this is how corporations work. If you do something and it works out, great. It's an amazing thing. If you do something and it doesn't work out, well, sorry about your luck.
You're going to be an old Eskimo out on the ice floe because it's like,
yeah, they just push you away and they just figure something. Yeah. They don't care. The minute that she gets fired. Mm-hmm. You'll know the minute that she gets fired. And it'll be interesting to watch this. It'll be interesting to watch other brands. I would love to take politics out of everything.
Well, that's the way it used to be.
Yes.
But this is how the left forces their agenda by Vanguard and BlackRock.
Right. And now we have to have a backlash about it. We don't need this. We don't want this.
I think 22 or 23 states have passed legislation that BlackRock can, because the federal government, they wanted to, you have a pension or a 401k, right?
Pension, yeah.
Okay. So what they wanted to do was they're going to take your personal retirement fund and invest it in the shit that doesn't pay well, which is all this ESG bullshit and DEI nonsense. And so they're using other people's money to further their agenda. And a lot of these states are like saying, no, they're mostly red states, of course, like, no, you're not going to do that. Your job as a fiduciary is to do the best performing portfolio for your customer. And you're not doing that. You're following your personal agenda. And that's what BlackRock is doing. So you can do like the right, I'll no longer drink Bud Light. All right, well, that's great. But BlackRock owns 25% of it. And if your investments or your 401k or pension are tied up in BlackRock, by proxy, you're condoning this behavior.
The thing that makes me nervous is that, most unions, and where my pension is, my union, very Democratic. You go to the union meeting and they would want you to go down and vote Democrat. Democrats are for unions. No, they're not. Not anymore. They're not.
Yeah,
Did we flip again?
It was basically a slush fund. You know, the whole, like when Obama was in office and he passed the shovel jobs that are ready to go, and they passed like $800 million, almost $1 trillion, shovel ready jobs.
Okay,
and they passed $800 million, and nothing got done. Well, what they did was they passed this bill, gave the money to the unions, and then the unions just donated the money back to the Democrats as campaign contributions. So it was a slush fund, is what it was.
Boy,
that's how it worked.
Attaboy.
And then he joked about, well, I guess there wasn't as many shovel-ready jobs as I thought. And the press just laughs and, oh, he's so charming. Oh, he's so eloquent. Not like that buffoon George W. Bush. That's how it works.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm catching shit in the chat. They're like, yeah, talk with some more food in your mouth. Hey, listen, let me just tell you something. Our cheesesteaks got here late. We ordered them on time. We usually eat them before we get done. Sorry about your luck.
They're just jealous because they don't have cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I know. It is pretty much that. All right. So I have something here that I want to.
I finished my cheesesteak, by the way. Now I'm going to eat this cherry. Cherry.
I'm out old fashioned.
Hey, you want another one?
Well, hang on one second. Before we get into all that, I want to try something on you. All right. So I'm going to play a sound, and I want you to tell me what you hear. Do you hear brainstorm or do you hear green needle? All right. You at home can play it too. Here we go.
I'm not sure. Play it again.
All right, here we go. Is it brainstorm or green needle?
The first time you played it, I heard brainstorm, and then when I concentrated the second time, I heard green needle.
All right, now.
So it depends, I guess, this test on where you're going to put the emphasis.
Right. So now think to yourself right now. Just think in your mind, brainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear brainstorm?
Yeah.
All right, now think in your mind, green needle.
Yeah,
is that amazing?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's just like that. What color is his dress?
Yeah.
That was on the internet a few years ago. Or what color are these sneakers? That was the other one.
Right. So now in the chat they're saying they couldn't hear it at all. Well, I'm sorry. I guess you'll have to listen to it when we do the show.
A month from now when John releases it on.
I think I think the show came out last time very quick.
Yes, you did, I have to say.
It did. To be honest with you, what happens is it depends on the workload.
You're too busy.
It shouldn't be that way, but it seems to be, and I don't want to do it that way. This week is I have a really big workload coming in this week, but I want to have it done by Monday. I want it out there. But so when I first listen to that, they go, what is this? And I go, oh, well, this is brainstorm. Right? Then all of a sudden I go, I'm listening to it, and I go, so then I say, well, what if I think green needle? And I thought green needle, and then all of a sudden I heard green needle. I was like, whoa. I mean, that thing freaks me out.
See, it's too late now, but if you had said, what words do you hear?
Right.
And just left me unbiased, that would have been the way to do that.
Yeah, I would have done that, but So where I got this from was TikTok.
Right.
And it says, what do you hear, Brainstorm or Green Needle?
Okay, so that's how they presented it.
Yeah. So then I listened to it, and the first time I heard it, I heard Brainstorm because I was thinking Brainstorm because it's the first word.
Mm-hmm.
Then it plays over again. It plays in a loop.
It's in a loop.
Right. So then it played again, and I was like, well, do I hear Green Needle or not? And then when I thought about Green Needle, I heard Green Needle, and I was like, holy shit. That is amazing.
Some people have too much time on their hands on TikTok.
Maybe, maybe not. All right, so here's a question for you.
Me, personally?
Of course. Who else is here? So what social media do you use right now?
Facebook is the only social media that I use, and as I mentioned on this podcast earlier, I'm more of a lurker now. I really don't interact on it all that much. All right. I will like certain things. I will say happy birthday to friends of mine on Facebook, and that's pretty much about it.
Okay, so can I ask you what about Facebook keeps you on Facebook?
The only thing that's keeping me on Facebook is the amount of relatives that I have across the country.
Okay.
That's basically it.
All right,
and some friends that are across the country as well. But other than that, in my opinion, Facebook was a lot more fun 10 years ago. And if I had to put a time, a date as when it all kind of changed, I think it's when Trump started running for president in 2016, that it just got very polarized. And then it doubled down on itself the last presidential election. Because now I got tired of being in fights with total strangers.
Right. Okay, I get that. What would you do if Facebook just crashed? I mean, did you have a MySpace account back in the day? Okay. What would you do if Facebook crashed? Would you go find something else, or would you just be done with social media?
I'm pretty much fed up with it, and I'm
so you're
done.
Done with social media altogether?
Yeah.
All right, so can I ask you this? Where do you get your news from?
A lot of places. Fox, Daily Wire, occasionally BBC, occasionally Politico. If I'm looking for a left-leaning thing, that's about it.
The reason I say this is because I think Facebook is in its death nails. In other words, I think it's going to die soon. And the only reason I say that is because the only people that are keeping Facebook afloat are us olds.
Is that the Jimmy?
Hang on, I have to accept this. Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
Did you see the video I sent?
No, I'm recording right now. What's going on?
Because all of a sudden, I went in the driveway to park, and there's this light that says brake with a red on it, and it just keeps flashing.
You didn't step on the emergency brake, did you?
I don't think so. Is it the one on the side?
Yeah.
I did do that a little bit, but then I unhooked it.
Okay, that's the problem. So you probably now I need new brakes. All right, are you here?
I'm on my way back.
All right, is the brake light still flashing?
Yeah.
All right, pull over.
What the hell? I just parked in the driveway.
What driveway?
Our driveway.
You can't drive over here with the parking brake on. You'll smoke the back brakes.
Not on.
Well, why is the brake light flashing?
I don't know.
Because the brake's on!
It's dead. I literally just... Do you want me to put it back on and then take it off?
Okay, this is what I want you to do. Pull over.
I already did.
All right, put the car in park.
I did.
Step on the parking brake.
Okay.
Put your foot on the regular brake.
Okay.
Now put the truck in drive.
Okay.
Did the parking brake release?
No.
It didn't?
No. I mean, do I let go of the brake pedal?
Well, it's not going to go anywhere. As soon as you put your foot on the brake and put it in drive, it should release. It didn't?
No.
Is there a hand release?
There's not a hand release.
You have to push the brake all the way down, and then it'll release.
All right. How far did you push it down?
Pretty far down.
All right. Put the truck back in park. Is the truck on, or did you shut it off?
Yes, it's on.
Put it back in park.
Okay.
Try to push it all the way down.
The brake again?
The emergency brake.
Should I unrelease it and then put it back again?
Did the emergency brake release or not?
It didn't release before.
Is it released now?
No.
I don't understand the question. Put the truck in park.
It's in park.
Push it down as far as you can push it down.
It's already pushed down.
All right, so now if you put your push down on the brake and put the car in drive.
Okay.
All right. It didn't pop back up?
No.
What the hell?
I'm sorry. I don't even know what I did wrong.
You used the parking brake. No one ever uses the parking brake. I've had that
In
truck
our
for
driveway,
5
we were supposed to, because Mom always says to. Because then it messes with your brakes if you don't.
Where are you at now?
I'm in the development.
You're still in the development.
Yeah. It didn't seem like it was driving weird at all.
Well, you're still in the development. How far did you go? I mean, it's if you try to drive now, will it even move?
If I let go of the brake, no. Well, because it's still in the... If I unrelease it...
Okay.
Oh, now it's off. Okay,
Now it's off?
Now it's off. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. So I think I just need to push it down more, but I have my boot on.
All right. So everything is everything okay now?
Yeah, it's fine. It's off.
All right. Your cheesesteak is awaiting you.
Okay, I'm on my...
Okay.
We've been eyeing it up.
You better get here fast. Deuce has got his eye on it.
All right, I'll floor it there.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Do you ever use your parking brake?
No.
I never use it.
Not in an automatic car.
No, I never use
Stick shift car, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. Oh, the children. All right, let's go to the chat. Chat says, time to park the truck and walk. Oh, it's too funny. All right. Back to Facebook. It looks like Facebook, and this is a story from Kate. She sent me a thing. It says, so here are the reviews on Facebook. Facebook is for old people who are so out of touch they don't actually know what's going on in the real world.
That's a pretty broad brush.
I don't know. Here's another 1-star review. The actual threat to democracy. The fact that this company has lobbied Congress and paid PR firms to sway public opinion against their competitors is such an obvious example of corruption, but no one seems to care. Large corporations like this are our single greatest threat to a fair and democratic society. Everyone should delete this app and free themselves from the death spiral that it perpetuates. Your thoughts?
I agree that it's on its death spiral. I don't know anybody that really uses it. It's like I said on this podcast a couple of podcasts ago, I think the people are out there, but they play it safe. So if you put a picture of a birthday party or the holidays, you'll get 10,000 likes. But now you just throw a joke out there and you might get 2 people where you get a reaction from it.
They all see it.
Yeah, they all see it, but they don't. They're not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
That's right.
It's
Listen, there's a pile of steaming dog shit right there.
Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere near it.
And a lot of times the jokes are quite innocuous.
Not if you're on my Facebook.
You know, it's like on Facebook, you know, you go in your memories, they pop up. Well, if you're on the phone app anyway on Facebook and you go to the memories thing and you look and see and I see the shit that I posted like 10, 9, 8 years ago. And, it was pretty normal, like when we grew up and everything. And you used to get a lot of responses and people would comment on it. It's not like that.
Put a pin in that. Hold on. Hello?
Hey.
Deuce is here. Deuce can hear you, so I wanted to pick it up in case there was an emergency.
No emergency. Sorry, didn't know you were busy. I was just checking on Jessica to see if she was done yet or not.
Well, she's coming here now. Her car should be done at 4:00, and she had a problem with the emergency brake. She pushed the emergency brake on, and she couldn't get it off, so that was averted. So she's on her way over here now.
Okay.
All righty?
All right.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
That was the former Mrs. Domingo.
Forgot your name, huh? Forgot you?
Yeah, give me a couple more old fashions. I'll forget everything. Now, I have.
You want another old fashioned?
I could use another old fashioned.
All right, you go ahead and talk.
I'll talk and then
I'll make you an old fashioned. Hell, I'll make me one too.
Oh, look at you twist your arm.
My fucking
Well, you know,
arm.
we have 6 ice cubes in there, and it would maybe have waste to let them just melt for no reason. Here you go. So my theory is I'm a big fan of Twitter now. I know a lot of people don't like Twitter, but that's where I go to get my news. When they talk about like the shooting that just happened in Louisville, Kentucky, The first thing I did was I went to Twitter and I typed in Louisville, Kentucky, and boom, there was somebody there that had a video of somebody shooting. And then you could see what's actually happening in real time. I'm a fan. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. I do not get any engagement with Twitter. Whatever's going on in Twitter right now, I am shadow banned. I'm pushed in the back of the room. Nobody sees anything that I tweet. But what I can do is
persona non grata.
I am persona non grata on Twitter. I am also probably persona non grata on, well, I don't really go on Truth Social because it's the same thing. It's just one side complaining about the other side. I do like what Elon Musk has done as far as trying to open it up a little bit. But I do feel that in this day and age, there should be some place that you can go, like a public square, and then in that place, you can spout your opinions or whatever and have a discussion. The problem with Twitter is there's a lot of people on there that are anonymous, and then they are trolls, and then they come in and they just spout their shit and they yell at you and all that other stuff.
Nobody would ever do that if you were face to face with someone.
No.
Because you get thunder punched in the throat.
Correct.
And if there's no danger of getting thunder punched in the throat, that's why it's so toxic.
Right. Well, we were talking about the other night I was on a Twitch stream and they were talking about, what violence is. And they said, well, speech is violence. And I said, well, people that think speech or violence has never been punched in the face because I'd rather have somebody yell at me than punch me. I've had both. Trust me. And I would rather be punched in the I'd rather have somebody yell at me than punch me in the face because getting punched in the face hurts. So I don't know where will all the boomers go? Where will all the boomers go when Facebook dies? I think they're sick of the social media shit. I think Facebook would have a spot in their heart because all their memories are there. Probably some of them have been on there as long as 2008. So you figure they've been there, what?
I was a Johnny come lately to this party.
Yeah, you were a late adopter.
2012, I think is when I got on.
Yeah, you were a very late adapter to Facebook.
And that was only because the guy I went to school with was dying of cancer.
Right.
That's how I got involved in it.
So now I drug you kicking and screaming into Twitter, and you did not like Twitter. You hated Twitter. Did not like Twitter at all. Where I'm a big fan of it. And I'm also a big fan of TikTok because there's a lot of stuff that's going on TikTok. Now, what they say is, well, there's a lot of misinformation. Of course there is. Of course there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation in the regular news. You have to be smart enough to figure out what's misinformation and what's not misinformation. But if you're not smart enough, I guess that's where the problem is.
Well, my problem with it is it's owned by the Chi-Coms.
So you would rather have your information stolen by American companies than the...
Well, not only that, it's not just the information. It's like they know everything that's going on. You got a lot of idiots. Like Joe the company he works for.
Yeah, he can't have it.
Right. Anyone in the military, you cannot
Can't have it. Yeah, I understand that part.
Why is that? Yeah.
Well, right.
Plus, I don't think it really edifies anybody. I think it's the bashing for the stupid to make them feel like they're smart.
Everybody's saying, got to get Deuce on Discord. Let me tell you something right now. Deuce will never be on Discord. And I don't say never very often, but Deuce will never, ever be on Discord. Part of it because I don't think he wants to keep up with it. Now, here's the thing, Deuce, about Discord that I will tell you. Discord is a great place. It would be really good, I would think, that if the people that you worked with, your friends, had a Discord server. You guys would have a ball in there. It's like Facebook, but you own it. And
outside of you and podcasters, I don't know anybody that's on Discord.
Well, that's true too. But I'm saying it's where the people are. The peeps, yeah. I'm looking at Discord right now. Let me see how many Discord servers I'm in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I am a member of 16 Discord servers. Now, some of them are for podcasts. Some of them are for some equipment that I use. And that's basically it.
So that would be like 16 too many for me.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this question. And I think I know the answer to this. You and your work friends, do you have a private Facebook group that you hang out in? You don't? I thought you would.
We spend The nature of my job is we spend so much time together. It actually exceeds the time that we actually spend with our families because of the hours that we work.
Gotcha. Except on Monday nights when you're drinking old fashions.
Well, and beers and Long Island iced tea.
Get on that microphone, young man. Thank you for
The occasional Manhattan.
So I was wondering what you would do. So you would just go completely off of
Yeah, I would
social
just,
media.
before I got off, I would just, I guess, reach out to all my family. And I think I said it before. I think I have close to like 70 members of my family all over the country. California, Florida, Arizona, Massachusetts, Michigan. Yeah, they're everywhere. So I would just basically, hey, give me your cell phone number. So we'll just start texting now.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Boomer Bunker server. Well, it's called Rubber Baby Boomer Bunkers. Is what it's called.
Rubber baby Bucky bumpers.
Yeah, well, we use Boomer.
Back in the day.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I tell people to come on over and we can have fun in the Discord. Now, in our Discord, we have different channels. We have predictions. We have music stuff. We have podcasts we like, Project Car. Duchess has a channel in here. It's like Duchess's healthy life journey, all that kind of good stuff. And
I'm not saying there's there's no merit to it. I think Discord sounds healthier to me than TikTok does.
It depends on which one you're in. And then again, you don't like it, you just move out.
Yeah, because I sit at work in the break room, and then everyone latches onto that Wi-Fi, so they just turn into drooling drones. They're just like, ugh. And then I hear the stupid music, and I know to watch, and then something happens in the world, and you want to talk of something with substance, and you're talking to retards that are on TikTok all day, and they're like, their brains are like this.
I got to tell you, there's sometimes I'll scroll through TikTok for an hour and a half, doing just exactly what you're saying. I'm just scrolling through, look at this, look at that.
You got an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how you can see how you're spending your time on your phone?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. And you look at it and you're like, Jesus Christ, I spend a shitload of time on that app. I only have Facebook, and I might be spending maybe 20 minutes a day now. I mean, I cut way back because, like I said, now I'm a lurker. But I heard the average usage of a TikTok user is 3 hours.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you can read a lot of a book in 3 hours and just that mindless dribble on TikTok. But again, that's just me.
Right.
I don't see any redeeming value to TikTok. I really don't.
You've never been on it. How can you say that?
Because I can see what the people that I'm surrounded by are. You know what they're watching? People with fake Tourette syndrome, because that's a big thing that's going on now is fake Tourette's. Stupid nonsense like people setting people up to be punked. I don't need that.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you about TikTok. And this is one thing the Chinese have really, really perfected.
Choppy.
They have perfected is what you look at, they will feed you more of. So if you like fake Tourette's people, they will feed you that. Mm-hmm. If you like women with big breasts and hard nipples, they will feed you that.
And riddle me this, Batman. Why don't they offer that version of of TikTok to their own people?
Because they don't want...
Because they know it sucks and it's dangerous and it's horrible.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to tell you that that's not true. That's absolutely true. And maybe if we did but the thing is, if they did that in the United States, it would not be as
well, because
prevalent.
The Chinese are using the First Amendment against us, like communists and Democrats. But then I repeat myself.
I love it because I get a lot of content for the podcast from TikTok. They go look at something and they cut it down.
If you have the, which I think you do, if you have the cognitive dissonance to say, you know what, this is entertainment and this is just for fun. But in this aspect, I don't have that much faith in humanity.
I agree with you there. I think we got to start from the ground up, and it's going to take 2 generations to try to straighten this out. And I don't know if we have 2 generations left.
Nah, they're giving away the store.
I agree with that also. Oh, I see. We're in our second old-fashioned. We're going to start talking politics, but not yet.
What do you think about American cheese?
I love American cheese.
Okay.
I put it on everything I had. I like cheese. I like it in my eggs.
Listen to this story.
Oh, I can't wait.
There's a bunch of guys that when the Eagles in the runoff to the Super Bowl, they were going to the playoff games if they were in Philly and the last few remaining games of the regular season. So they were going to tailgates and they're having a lot of fun. So a bunch of guys at work were there. One guy was there with his dad. And they were making cheesesteaks and they were making cheeseburgers and hot dogs and all that stuff, typical tailgating fare. They asked this one guy's father, who he brought along with him, do you want cheese on your cheesesteak? And my coworker says, no, go ahead, tell him, Dad. He's like, well, absolutely, I want cheese on my cheesesteak. And not tell him the rest, Dad. So apparently there's a certain brand of American cheese that this guy is absolutely crazy about. And what he does is every day he goes to whatever deli or supermarket that sells this particular brand, and he gets 1 pound of American cheese sliced up, and he brings it home. And every night he sits in front of the television set and he eats 1 pound of American cheese every single day while he's watching television. And he said if you were to slip him like a different brand of American cheese, he would know the difference.
I would love to know the brand.
I would love to know the brand too. But the bigger question is, like, what does his insides look like?
I was going to say.
You must be so jammed up because American cheese is cheese in the loose interpretive. I think it's oil with a dash of cream.
You think?
Whipped up. And I don't think there's a whole lot. It's not like having like provolone or pepper jack or, blue cheese. It's not really like a real cheese. And also, for fun and games, we looked this up. 1 pound of American cheese is like 1,685 calories, and it's 190 grams of fat. And it's the worst horrible thing you could like eat. So you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day, and he's consuming 1,685 calories in one sitting, eating a pound of American cheese.
The thing about American cheese, to be honest with you, any cheese, is how it binds you up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to drink a good amount of liquid.
Yeah. I would imagine his intestines are just one continuous string cheese.
Like every day, like he eats a pound of American cheese at night, and in the morning he pushes out a telephone pole.
That's 306. I don't know. He might not be going at all. He might go weekly.
Oh, you got to go. It'll just be like it almost sounds like it's when a train goes by. As it comes out. kind of, sort of, that kind of just trying to get through. Yeah.
That's a shitload of fucking cheese. And, I've been doing it for years. Just like, how long does this guy have left, And I think he's like around like my age because the guy is a young guy. The guy I work with is a young guy. He's like 25.
Right.
So let's be generous and just double the age and say that the guy's 50.
All right. So now wait a minute. Does he put it on crackers? Or he just
eats it.
He just folds it up.
Just gets. That's it.
Wow.
1 pound. I mean, that's got to be a stack about what? 2 inches high?
Yeah.
If not more.
Now, I buy 1.5 pounds of American cheese a week.
Right.
But I eat it on my eggs.
Right.
I put it on sandwiches.
Yeah. I'm talking consume 1 pound in one night and then do it again the next night while watching TV.
Yeah.
And the night after.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the grilled cheese sandwich. I love me a good grilled cheese sandwich. Mm-hmm. It's bread, it's butter, it's American cheese. It's delightful. But I understand. And listen, I didn't want to tell you this, but a couple weeks ago, I had a real health scare. Like I figured it was time. It was like
checking out?
I was checking out.
Really? Well, we'll have another podcast. I can't do this shit.
The podcast will be over. So I'm going to tell you a story. So we've talked.
That's pretty selfish of you just dropping dead on me like that, and I can't run the.
I know. It's not something I like. All right. So I don't know, it was like 2 weeks ago. And we've talked about how I have arthritis in my knees and it's hard for me to go back and forth at night to the bathroom because it wakes me up and I can't get back to sleep. And I'm a problem solver, and I have like a little bucket that I have next to the bed.
Yes, we've discussed the bucket in depth. Have you attached a hose to the bucket?
No. I stand up and use the bucket. Then I go right back to sleep again. So I wake up
It's such a visual.
I know. So I wake up in the morning and I go to empty the bucket out and it is blood red.
Ooh.
Exactly.
That can't be good.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh no.
I know what's wrong.
What?
As most men of our age, you have an enlarged prostate.
Is that what you're saying?
This is what This is my guess. Okay.
No, it's not it.
Well, I was going to say you have an enlarged prostate. You had a very, very hard bowel movement, which then pressed up against your enlarged prostate, and that causes internal bleeding, and then you expelled it out.
Right. I understand. That's what I thought.
That was my guess.
Or bladder cancer. Because
wow.
I go right to bladder. You know me. Right to bladder cancer. So I empty the bucket.
You're like my wife, like worst case scenario.
Yes.
Can't just be a headache. It has to be her retinas are detaching.
Yes. Exactly what happened. So I empty the bucket out. I flush it down the toilet, and I immediately start praying to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Because I'm not going to be one of those guys that just sit there and do all this other stuff. I am going to go out like a man. I will probably do something like take a fistful of pills. I will not sit there and suffer like, forever. Hello. Come on down. You can stop making your noise. My daughter's
here.
What
you got a boot on for? What happened?
She had surgery on her foot because she had to have a tendon moved.
Ugh.
Your cheesesteak is, thank you for the keys. Your cheesesteak is over there if you want to eat. You've got another half hour before you go back for the car. I'm talking about my bladder cancer.
Plenty of room here.
Grab a chair. Grab a chair and go over, sit down. So I think it's bladder cancer. So I'm ready to go to the urologist and everything. Now, of everything that happens to me, whenever I get sick, whenever I have a problem, whenever there's something, it always happens on a Friday night. So I'm not going to the hospital. Because the next thing you know, you're going to be in the hospital. Nobody's there. And
why would you want to do that to get healthy?
Well, they're not going to do anything until Monday anyhow. They're all at home, right? They're all doing their thing, whatever. And if it's cancer, the Jimmy had his situation. They made him wait a month before they did anything. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Bladder cancer. I'm never going to see my daughters get married. I'm getting ready to die. I'm starting to make my will and testament and everything that I'm going to, needs to be done.
Don't forget about Deuce.
Don't forget about Deuce. You can have all my podcasting equipment.
That I won't know how to use. I'll be putting that on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my God. I give you all this equipment. You can't watch a video on Facebook, on YouTube to figure out how to use it. So Monday, this happens Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I'm sitting there. I'm all depressed. What am I going to do? So I get ready. I'm going to make an appointment to go to the doctors or urgent care or whatever Monday morning.
Hold on a second. How old are you? You want an old fashioned? I like to push old fashions.
How old are you? 21.
Youth.
Yeah, she's got to drive.
Yeah. Oh, so do I.
I know, but
you old bastard. It's okay for you to drive on old fashions.
I've practiced. I don't know how much practice she's had drinking and driving. All right. So anyhow, I get ready. And I figure that Monday morning I'm going to go to the doctors or the emergency room or whatever because I've got this bladder cancer. And so I go out in the kitchen because usually they want a morning urine sample. So I go out and I get a 32-ounce yogurt thing. I go and I use that. I look, and my urine is as white and clear and pale yellow as a healthy young boy. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? It must be when I'm sleeping or whatever. I don't know. So now I'm like, well, maybe I don't have bladder cancer. Maybe I'm okay. So then
it went away.
No. I go and I use the nighttime bucket again. And again, it's blood red. I'm like, what the hell?
There's something in that bucket.
there is something in that bucket. What I did was I had bought Febreze because, you don't want that smell.
Yeah.
I sprayed Febreze in there. Febreze turns your pee into blood red.
How did you find that out?
I peed in a cup and it was fine. I took the cup.
Well, I mean, if you go on the internet,
No.
If you Google that, will it come up as a search
How
result?
am I going to Google? Does Febreze turn your pee blood red? I don't like that. No one knows that.
Now I'm curious.
So I take the pee that I have that's clear and pale and looks fantastic. I pour it into the bucket and it turns blood red. I'm like, well, thank God.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank God.
You might have inadvertently subjected yourself to a shitload of medical tests that you didn't need.
Someone shoving a rod up my pee-pee.
That's why you should use Lysol. That doesn't do that. Like I'm a chemist, I know.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not telling anybody about this. I'm taking this to the grave. I'm not saying
You'll take this to the podcast is what you'll do. What you just did. You know,
Oh, my God.
you can't help yourself.
How embarrassing.
But yeah, that could be pretty disconcerting. The reason I gave you my answer is because the guy that I work with came up with exactly that same scenario. But basically, he had he was on Percocets, and if you not Percocets, Percocets, and if you know anything about Percocets, they'll jam you up. And he went to go to the bathroom, and then that's what caused it. What I missed?
She had surgery.
Oh, Percocets?
And they put her on Percocets.
When I was on Percocets, I didn't know that about Percocets. When I was in the hospital 2 years ago, for all the pain, they were giving me Percocets. So I was on Percocets for 5 days, and it was time to go to the bathroom, and it was a 9-hour ordeal, and I think I felt like I passed a clothes iron. It was terrible, and I was like, "How do faggots do it?" I didn't get it. It was the most agonizing pain I ever had in my life. And then my sister was like, "Oh yeah, well Percocets will jam you up." I didn't know that.
So my daughter just had surgery. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, how long ago?
Was that your Achilles tendon?
So she had to have surgery. So when she got done, they gave her Percocets. I said, make sure you take stool softener.
Yeah.
Did she listen?
No one told Deuce to take stool softener either.
Even you know what? Even if they did, she did not listen. Then she calls me and says, Dad, I can't go to the bath, I can't poop. So I'm like, and I called her mom. I said, did you get her some stool softeners or whatever?
I'm sure your daughter appreciates you telling this story on the phone.
Her mom didn't get her anything. So how was that first stool that came out? How was that? I'm sorry. I'm eating. Yeah, it was horrible. But who does she call? Dear old dad to tell me that finally it was. I told her. I said, listen, you got to listen.
At that point, it's too late. I wish they had told me when I was in the hospital, yeah, listen, by the way, you might want to start drinking a lot of beer with this.
I said, well, when her mother said that she was bound up, I said, go get her a 24-ounce Dunkin' Donuts coffee and some Taco Bell. That'll push anything out.
For Deuce, I might as well just get a Big Mac and sit on the toilet and eat it because...
Really? That does it for you?
Oh, yeah. My body says all exits are open, no waiting. It's just like...
Yeah, Taco Bell is what really does it for me.
Yeah, I was never a fan of the Taco Bell. I was glad when they all closed down.
They're still
open.
But
now they're reopening them up. Yeah, they did a contraction.
Yes.
And now they're reopening.
All right, Deuce, what's the first rule of Fight Club?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
All right, here we have a story out of Florida. A Florida middle school teacher has been arrested for hosting student fights and letting kids brawl in the classroom.
Wow.
Angel Footman, 23, allegedly allowed kids to sock each other senseless as she looked from her desk, sometimes telling the kids not to record the blows or attract attention by screaming and yelling. Several of the sixth graders alerted the administrators at the Griffin Middle School in Tallahassee after Footman turned their classroom into a secret boxing pit. Staffers were also presented with several videos shot late last month showing Footman stationed at her desk while students hammered each other. Footage shows her laying down the rules of engagement, telling participants not to pull hair and limit the clashes to 30 seconds each. Your thoughts?
Man, that's like an old school teacher, I'll tell you that.
The teacher denied organizing the fights when confronted, but acknowledged failing to report brawls or submit reports on the misconduct. She was eventually hit with 4 counts of contributing to a delinquent of a minor, was arrested Friday and released. Footman is slated to be arraigned on the charges early next month, according to court records.
They might as well just have cockfights in there at nighttime. Like little Jerry Seinfeld at the middle.
Did you ever have, again, I don't know about you in high school, but I remember
I know where you're going to go with this.
Go ahead.
It was common that if kids were having issues with each other, that a teacher would keep them after school and give them a pair of boxing gloves and put them in the ring. And that's where they worked it out.
Yep. You would go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
They'd give you boxing gloves.
And we didn't think of anything. We just thought that was how it's done.
And you would sit there and you would...
But then the pussies took over and that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should go back to that.
I say that to say this, that a lady, a mother, was sending her child to preschool daycare. And the child came home after about a week and a half and was very aggressive, was cursing, was hitting, was defiant. So the mother's like, what's going on here? So the mother sewed a recording device into the jacket of the toddler and sent him off to school.
A toddler?
A toddler.
How old?
3, 4.
Don't you toddle at like 2 to 3?
Well, okay. Whatever between, I'm thinking right before they went to regular kindergarten.
Okay, 3 to 4, yeah.
3 to 4.
Because kindergarten's like 4 and 5.
She takes the recording back, and there's a lot of cursing and smacking and yelling at these kids. She takes this to the school. The school immediately fires this woman. And I thought to myself, we're missing an opportunity, Deuce. I would like to start that 70s daycare. Because like you said, the pussies have taken over. You're not allowed to fight as a kid anymore. You're not allowed. I think we should go back to rearing kids like we did back in the 70s.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Right. The mothers, you look.
I'm stable.
Exactly. You go in there, you give it, you start there, you tell the teacher you're not going to do something, you get one of these. You had a slap and you had a backhand across the cheekbone. You know what it teaches you? Respect, Deuce. That's what it teaches you.
How often did you spend time in the hallway at school?
Too long.
Yeah, I was like
Yes.
a fixture next to the library water fountain in the hall. The water fountain outside of the hallway at my elementary school, I was a fixture. Every Tuesday, I was outside that thing.
Now,
They just don't appreciate humor.
I went to Catholic school until the 5th grade. What they would do is they would put you in the hallway, and you had to stay there until the principal came by and let you back in.
Was the principal a priest?
The principal was a nun.
Okay.
This was Sister Emily. And
Back when it was a real Catholic school then.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. She would peruse the hallways like late in the period with her ruler in hand. And if you were out in the hallway, she would tell you to stick your hand out with your knuckles out. And she would smack you on the knuckles with a wooden ruler. And God forbid, if you moved your hand out of the way or flinched, you had to sit there and take it. And then once you took your punishment, she would open up the door and she said, I talked to John and he has agreed not to do whatever he did. And they would let you back into class again. If you moved your hand, she would then take that roller and smack you straight across the face with it. This is why. Now, back in those days, did you have any school shootings?
No.
Of course not. Would you even think about doing something like that?
No.
Of course not. Now we have these kids now that think that they can go and get away with this kind of stuff. And I think that if you start training these kids at a young age, at the John and Deuce, that 70s
Negative reinforcement, that 70s school.
daycare, what would be the advertisement for that 70s daycare?
Yeah, we don't fuck around.
Listen, we understand that you don't have the heart to sit there and whoop your kids like they should be whooped when they do bad things.
It was like we talked about it before. Like back then, every year some kid got left behind.
Yes.
They failed. They
Right.
had to repeat that grade.
Because they're stupid.
And then all of a sudden, after I graduated high school, that went away. Mm-hmm. Now they just socially pass these kids because they don't want to. It became bad to fail a kid.
Yes.
These kids clearly weren't ready.
Now,
That's why they were left back.
you know who should have been left back? This guy. Because my parents started me in school at 4 years old. And I was too immature. I'm immature now. All right? So they should have let me back not once, but twice. And I probably would have settled in and been mature enough to go through school. I was too immature.
Driving in the 8th grade.
I would have been, listen, when I graduated high school, I was only 17. It wouldn't have been too bad for me to be 18. I mean, I didn't start driving until my senior year. I was 16 when I started my high school senior year. I turned 17 my senior year. Would it have been that hard to turn 17 or 18 or maybe be 18 and turn 19? I don't know. But I think it would have helped me. But my parents said, well, you're smart enough to do the work. Yeah. I just didn't want to. Why? I was immature. But if you go to the Deuce and John and Deuce, that 70s daycare, your children could be disciplined and taught respect. Respect your elders. Respect other people. Yes. Right now, they're coddled and told they can be done. They can be anything, including the opposite sex.
Yeah. Oh,
could you imagine at the John and Deuce, that 70s daycare, where some kid walks up and says, you know what? I know I'm a boy, but I feel like a girl.
Yeah, when we were in school, when you think about it, all this stuff that's going on now with this kids and trying to make them the opposite sex.
Yes.
We used to have police officers come to the school and warn us about people trying to lure them into a van with free candy or a puppy.
Yes.
You know, and all this stuff. And that just like went away. It just doesn't apply anymore. You had police officers saying, all right, boys and girls, if a stranger comes up to you, you know, but if your teacher comes up to you, it's totally okay. It doesn't apply no more.
Right. Could you imagine if we had a teacher that had like cotton candy hair and said that they were non-binary, they didn't identify as a man and a woman? We would torture them.
We used to wait for substitute teachers.
I mean,
that was like this. Oh, Mrs. Hunter's out sick. Ooh. We got Mr. Hemslaw's coming in or whoever. And we would just torture the poor substitute teachers. Really deserve like hazard pay.
I agree,
because they got like absolutely no respect from any of the other kids.
No,
you know, it was just a big pile on. You know, except for the girls. The girls were always like good. You know,
I remember that Jimmy went and got his substitute teacher's certificate.
Really?
Oh, yeah. How long did I think he lasted maybe half a year.
Didn't your dad do that too?
My dad was a teacher.
He was a teacher.
Yeah, he went and he was teaching auto repair in a vocational school. Yes. He actually did do that. And I said to him, there's no way you're going to be allowed. But you know what? I got to tell you something. He got away with a lot of shit that they would never allow him to get away with now. And we're going back to like 1995, 96.
Yeah. When did your dad die? Like in 2002?
He died in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used to say, you better watch yourself. You're going to get fired for that shit. And he goes, whatever. I said, as being someone that was your son had been raised under the thumb of your tyranny, that I don't think that the other people will be able to handle this. Well, I digress. What do you know about the Dalai Lama in the latest story? Have you been apprised of
something about us sucking a kid's tongue or the kid sucking his tongue or something?
The Dalai Lama
must mean something in that culture, I'm sure, but they made more of it than it is.
Does it?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I saw the headline as it doesn't interest me enough, and I just moved along.
That doesn't interest you enough that the Dalai Lama had a kid sitting on his lap and said, suck on my tongue?
No.
A little tiny child of maybe that was like 5 or 6.
Max or Asian. What do I know?
Really?
Just didn't cross my purview. I was like, not really interested.
Where in the hell would an adult male think in any culture that it is okay for a 5-year-old child?
All the transgender readings, story readings in the schools, I guess he figured, why not?
Are you kidding me?
Let's go for it.
I mean, so the fact now is, I guess he's walked it back. What does that mean? He walked it back, but apparently, the Dalai's like,
little note here. Before they started calling walking it back, it used to be called clarifying your position.
Okay, so
but
clarified his position.
The leftists in the media decided, that doesn't grab the headlines, so let's call it walking it back because it automatically it connotates a negative image in your mind that you exactly, well, what does that mean, walking it back? It's like,
How do you walk that back?
Yeah, so-
Or how do you clarify that position?
but if you say clarify, because we say it was taken out of context, blah, 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 blah. Now they just go with walking it back.
they have video.
No, I'm sure they do. I just didn't care enough to look at it.
I understand. I can't believe, like, again, I would have to say, like, could you imagine if they arrest the Dalai Lama? I don't know. What would you call that?
Did it happen in Tibet? I'm guessing.
I don't know that. I don't, you know what? It didn't sound, looked like the kid was Eastern European,
Mhm.
in my humble opinion. I could be wrong.
So his head was shaped like a bucket?
Yes. I have to tell you, I couldn't watch it. Like, in other words, he sat there with his tongue out, and I was like, I had to turn my head away. I couldn't take it. It was horrible. Of course, everybody's upset. I don't know if they're more upset about the I mean, what is it with all of a sudden that it's okay to be a pedophile? Where did that start? When did that memo
Well,
come
that's
out?
what they're working on now.
The problem is men are waking up. Thank God men are waking up. Men are protectors. Men are protectors of women and children. And real men are waking up. And this is when the nonsense will stop. When you start attacking children. Now, of course, you have the virtual signaling leftist nitwits. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm taking my child to a drag show. I will have a man gyrate in front of him with fake tits and a thong in his ass.
Again, we used to have police officers come to our schools and warn against this. And
Yes.
now it's okay.
Now it's okay. And we're supposed to say, and if you say anything, if you say anything, then you're a
Well, you're an
homophobe.
asshole for observing it.
Right, you're a homophobe or you're a transphobe or you're whatever. No, I'm not scared of them. I want them to stay away from the children. Okay? I'm not scared of them. I'm here in spite of them. You're not coming around the children anymore. Dylan Mulvaney was doing a video with another guy, and I can't think of his name now. But he's one where he goes, hi, I would like to talk to the children. Now, this guy has short hair, female makeup on, right? Eyeshadow, all this, a plunging neckline, a hairy chest, and probably a 3-day growth of facial hair. Like, you know.
Kind of like on Matt Walsh's on Dr. Phil's with the dudes with the beards.
Not as thick, but kind of, sort of, a little thinner than that. And he's like, I would like to talk to the children. How about no?
Did you see that new Amazon commercial?
No.
With the dude with the yellow jacket? There's a couple of versions of this commercial, and it just started airing like in the last week. So there's this, it's a dude, and he's looking at a poster of Freddie Mercury on his wall, and it's like one of those yellow jackets that Freddie Mercury used to wear, and he finds it for sale on Amazon, and he orders it. And then the next thing you know, he's entering the school wearing a skirt and this yellow jacket, flitting around, and his hair's all permed up. But the exit shot is him smiling, and you can see that he has the start of a mustache above his lip. It's like, it's a really creepy commercial.
It's weird. I'll have to check that out. Bob is in the chat. Bob
Hi,
says
Bob.
it's also okay to shoot cinematographers. The ad is a fucking annoying. It's the bobblehead of Freddie Mercury. Hang on. Let's bring Bob in. Let's see if Bob can talk.
This never works.
Say hello to Deuce, Bob.
Hey, Deuce, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Bob? Yeah, third time's a charm.
So what were you saying about the commercial?
Oh, well, you know, since I have fucking nothing else to do these days, I watch a lot of TV, and that ad, the one I seen was a chick with the typical ethnic hairdo, you know, the curls that go down to just above the shoulders, you know.
Wearing
and
the yellow jacket, right?
But she orders it. She looks over at a bobblehead of Freddie Mercury that is, for some reason, you know, moving on its own. And she orders that jacket off Amazon. It comes, she puts it on, and she struts down the hallway of her school or whatever the hell it is. And everybody just, she acts like everybody's looking at me and everybody's paying attention to me. Of course, she is also bringing the attention of somebody wearing a construction, you know, vest because it's bright yellow. So yeah, people are like, what is that? Oh, okay, just some bitch. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's the commercial.
It's that, but then it zooms in on her, and she smiles like, look at me. Yeah, that's right. Mission accomplished. All I did was give my money to Jeff Bezos.
But did you notice that her upper lip it's a dude. She's growing a mustache.
I mean, I've known, some Italian chicks. They got a little hair where they shouldn't.
Not like this one.
Right.
It was like clearly a dude. It's like, so it's just like, well, there you go. It's just like, and it continues. But there's a couple of versions of that commercial, like you said. There's a real long version, which is the one you described. And then there's like a real short, abridged version where they don't zoom in on her smiling at the end of the commercial. And see
I've
the
only
hairy
seen
lip.
the one. They may have one that's 5 or 10 seconds, less than the other one.
Yeah,
but
that's what it is. It's
but
like
I've only seen the one.
Yeah, the long version might be like 40 seconds long, maybe almost a minute. But the real short version is like a 30-minute grab, and that's it.
All righty.
They should make her grow a goatee. That'd be more interesting.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Well, what does that feel like down there?
Girls,
let's try it.
Girls for goatees. I like that. We should start a new trend.
So you look like the mascot on the deviled ham can. You're like just standing there.
All right. I got to wrap this up because I got to take my daughter back to go get her car.
Oh, I don't get to plug my show or nothing? Fine. Hey, Deuce, good talking to you, buddy.
Yeah. Good talking to you, too.
Don't listen. We're going to plug the shows. Don't worry. We're going to do podcast shout-outs.
So he's not allowed to do it himself?
All right, hang on.
You're a real tyrant.
John's my bitch.
Hang on. Go ahead, Bob. Give us your plugs.
And remember, John's my bitch. All right, I'm out.
I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do. He complains he didn't get a plug. I say, okay, do your plugs, and he leaves. That's what he does. That's Boomer Bob. All right, we ready to do some podcast shout-outs?
Sure. Let me pull it up. If you're looking for some other great independent podcasts to check out, we highly recommend these podcasts. The Jason and Mindy podcast, starring our friends Jason and Mindy.
The Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony. Doug, you're a retard.
The Unwritable Rant with Juliet Miranda and Dave, the producer, her husband.
And I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam.
Oh, this is a new one. Steel Toe Morning Show with Aaron and April.
Yeah, I got rid of that. I am canceled. Fuck him. Married as Fuck with Randall and Brooke.
The Boomer Bunker with Bob and John. And Bob was just here.
Yes, he was. Praying Observations with Jessica and Melissa.
And the Rubberneckers podcast with John and, for the moment, Jody.
There you go. Yes. Bob is going to be on tomorrow night. He's going to be on Rubberneckers.
Oh, yeah?
You haven't checked it out yet, have you?
No.
You used to listen to every pod. If I farted into a microphone, you used to listen to it.
Yeah, but the first iteration of
it's not the same show.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
It just leaves a bad taste. Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Eventually, I guess I'll get over it, but.
All righty. I get it. Well, listen, if you enjoyed this show, please do us a favor. Tell a few friends. Even share this episode on your social media accounts.
But you won't.
You won't. We are on these social platforms. We are on Facebook at Brand X Podcast. We are on the Twitter at Brand X Pod. And we're on, are we still on Instagram? I don't think we are.
How the fuck would I know?
I don't know. Just like and follow and share us with your friends. We'd love it if you would join us for the conversation. You can email us at brandxpod@gmail.com.
Okay.
You usually say, but you won't.
But you won't.
Thank you. You can also call in on the Time Yours voicemail. God damn, what's the voicemail?
And you won't.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is. It's 856-216.
It'll be in the show links that John won't post.
No, it's in the show notes. It's in the show notes. And listen, if you actually send us a voicemail, we will feature it in a Time Yours segment if it ever happens. Thank you for listening, and come on back next month for another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
Adios, bitches.
Eat my fart box.
Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.